Stephanie Chung, your go-to for all things marketing, mindset, and manifestation. I grew my online business from 0 to beyond 6 figures in 8 months. My purpose is to empower women to step into the highest, most aligned versions of themselves. If you are ready to take charge of your life, learn how to design a wildly successful business, and leave limiting beliefs behind, you've come to the right place. You will learn the actionable tips and step-by-step strategies on money, manifestation, and social media. It's time to step into your role as boss, to raise your vibration and tap into your unlimited potential today. Welcome to the Social Reset Podcast. All right. Hi, everyone, and welcome back. Hi to podcast and Instagram Live at the same time. We're talking about the 4 keys to embody next level delusional levels of wealth. And this is such a beautiful conversation that I've been having, not within just these past couple days, but the past couple weeks with my students inside Magic Mind, and then the launch of this new offer that is coming through that I'm so excited about. We're talking about wealth in the way that is not just related to money, sales, revenue, the numbers that you have in your bank accounts, right? This is a level of wealth that goes beyond what you're creating in the 3D, right? This is 5D levels of wealth. And when we're talking about that level of wealth, when we're talking about that level of abundance and attraction and magnetism, it goes beyond just a very transactional, simple, simple way of looking at money, simple way of looking at sales. We're looking at it in a grander picture, right? It is a bigger zoomed out perspective that we have around money, because I say this all the time. If you're one of my students, you know this. How we do one thing is how we do anything, right? So when we're talking about sales and attraction and receiving, I can essentially intuitively, for the most part, kind of feel into how open someone is to receiving by seeing how they receive compliments, how intimate they allow their partners, family, friends to let them see who they really are. There is only so far that our wealth will allow us to experience, how far we will allow others to experience us, and how much we will allow ourselves to receive and attract in our wealth experience. Wealth not being just limited to how much money we make in our business and the monthly revenue or the yearly revenue, but the abundance of like soulmate high level clients, right? Clients that on this level, like not just clients that are, okay, this person wants to work with me, so I guess I'll say yes because I want the money, right? It's like you're speaking to a higher caliber of people because you are so connected to the work that you're doing, right? So when we talk about wealth, it goes beyond just the transaction of receiving money. It goes beyond just the conversation of sales, right? This is emotional wealth. This is interpersonal wealth. This is a level of wealth that goes beyond our business even. Our business is one extension of our soul's greatest purpose, right? It's just one extension of it. It is not our soul's greatest purpose, right? It is not our soul's, it is one extension of it. It is one iteration, right? It is one expression, right? But our business is not our sole purpose, period. It is one expression of it. Okay. And when we know that, then we understand that there is wealth and abundance that is not just tied to our business. There's wealth and abundance that's not just tied to our offers and our product suite. There is wealth that is created because we're living on our destiny timeline. There's wealth that is created because we're saying yes and we're saying we're taking up our soul's mission, right? This is beyond the concept of sales and attracting clients and messaging, right? This is a grander scheme, understanding and perspective that honestly I feel like we all need to have as spiritual entrepreneurs, as leaders, as heart-centered business owners and visionaries and CEOs of the collective, right? Especially if you're doing this sacred work as a healer, as a guide, as a facilitator, as a coach, right? When you are a spirit-led coach, you see yourself beyond your business. You see yourself beyond your services. You see yourself beyond your offers. This might be what you're offering now, but every single student that I work with, every single one of my clients, I tell all of them, and they know this, and it's the reason that they work with me, is they are beyond the fucking industry. That is like point blank, period. Beyond the coaching industry. You might be coaching now, but you're going to go beyond that. Like, I see myself speaking like a Tony Robbins stage level energy, people, like a stadium, huge conferences, being a household name, having my own show, right? Having books, going on a international world tour because of my books, right? I've written 2 books. I want to continue writing more and more and more, right? I published 2 books while I was in high school. I loved it. Right? It hasn't been the full call for me to jump back into it yet until very recently. But eventually, right, that is where I continue to see myself expanding. Right. And maybe there's always going to be a piece of me that does masterminds, or a piece of me that does some offers where I can still create some intimate inner circle, high touch work because I love doing that. But ultimately, I am beyond the industry, and every single one of my clients is beyond the industry. Right? You are not here to be bogged down by 1-hour sessions. How are you possibly going to scale with 1-hour sessions? Right? You are meant to create a much larger impact that isn't just exploiting your own energy. Like, so much of us are used to going to school, getting good grades, graduating, getting into the workforce, getting a good corporate job, having a good salary, and then working for decades upon decades upon decades until finally, hopefully, after all those years, then we get to retire, and then we're taught to enjoy our life. We're born free, and then our freedom is stripped from us because we must enter into these systems that then strip us of who we are, tell us who we need to be, right? Factory workers, school workers, going to the corporate system, all of these things, right? And then our worth becomes tied to what grade did you get? Oh, why you got 90%? Where's the other 10%? What's happening over there? Why aren't you getting straight A's? Why aren't you in the honors classes? Right? Oh, why did you get in this college? Oh, what are you doing for work? Oh, how much money are you making? Right? And our sole purpose, our wealth, hi, Carlos. Our wealth goes beyond just the money that we make. This is not just about sales and offers and product suite. Y'all, this is about a freaky, delusional, obscene level of receiving wealth, and wealth not just being tied to money, but wealth being tied to what you get to create as a legendary legacy in this lifetime. Right? And sometimes we get so caught up in the business side of things. Oh, the offers and the sales and clients, and I need to do a masterclass that leads into this 50-step launch process. It's like, no, how about we zoom all the way out and we remind ourselves that our business is just one extension of our soul's purpose. And it can take so many different expressions because we are multidimensional people. We are multidimensional humans beyond this realm, right? We are beyond the coaching industry, beyond the service provider industry, beyond the funnels and the sales calls and the offers and the all the things beyond that. How do you show up knowing that you get to be a household name? How do you show up knowing that you get to have your own TV show where you can say and do whatever the fuck you want, right? we are still living in this past version of our limitations of who we were taught to be versus the bigness that we are here to create that has no rules, that says fuck the rules, right? We're still creating some semblance of rules because that is where we feel safe. Right. And so it's about rewriting this, creating a new legacy, creating a new reality. And this is what I mean by highest wealth timeline. It's not just how much money you can make, it is the level. It is the level of power, not power as we see it in like, politics and these leaders and a lot of the corrupt systems that we have, but like capital P power, like legendary soul power that we came to this lifetime with that we forgot because we enter the human experience and we have our flesh suits. Right? I always laugh when I say that. Like we have our flesh bodies and we forget why we came to this earth to begin with, right? We forget the soul mission that we entered into this space with, which is beyond any one of us. But we get so caught up in the ins and outs of business, right? That we forget that this goes beyond all of the things that we are designed to do in this lifetime. Right. Yes. Carlos said it's so hard not to be lit up hearing you talk. Yeah, very much like maybe plutonic type wealth and unlocking something. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah. Yeah. 5 times Scorpio over here. So lots of death and rebirth and transformation, right? That's like every single one of us who is attracted to this work. It is, we are here to die and be reborn. I am not the same person I was this morning versus like a month ago, a couple weeks ago. Who is she? I don't know her, right? I literally do not know her. And so because we're evolving so deeply and so rapidly, and it is so, yeah, I'm a Scorpio stellium. It's like Mars, Venus, Sun, a North Node, Mercury. I don't know. There's like so much Scorpio. And so Scorpios, if you have these Scorpio placements, it's like you are used to that cycling, right? Like deaths and rebirths and dying and becoming reborn, like the phoenix that's rising from the ashes. Yeah. And it's like, we are here to create such powerful, powerful things. All of us are so multidimensional, right, in this space. So I want to talk about oh my gosh, I wanted to put in the chat my masterclass that I am doing starting next Wednesday. I'm so excited about this. It's been a really long time since I've done a full free masterclass. So this is called The Initiation, and it is 4 levels of initiation. So 4 keys broken into 4 calls on wealth, purpose, sales, and message. Message also meaning voice, expression of your vision, expression of your movement, right? And these 4 calls embody this level, this perspective shift of seeing your business and yourself and your identity shift in a completely new light. This is an activation. It is not just a masterclass where I'm teaching you. This is channeled transmissions, 4 calls. And I just opened up the Telegram group. So we have that going. This is a free masterclass series. All right. So link in my bio. You can register for free, save your spot. Call number 1 starts next Wednesday. Yes, Pluto is wealth, not in a here's more cash, but unlocking a deeper sense of power. Yeah, when I use the word wealth, I don't even relate it necessarily to money anymore because there are levels of wealth that go beyond just having money, right? And one of the analogies I love to give my students is like we see multimillionaires here who are living in scarcity every single day. And we have people who might, they might not have a home. They might not have like, things that we feel like are very kind of basic needs. And they live with, a lot of people live without these things, right? They live without Wi-Fi, they live without electricity, whatever it might be. And they are able to create and tap into a level of sufficiency, right? A level of sufficiency and gratitude And where many of us would be like, oh, well, I couldn't possibly live without this and that, right? Because of what we're used to, because of the level of privilege that we may have in our lives, right? So we see these extremes where we see these multimillionaires, billionaires that are living in scarcity, and then we see people who have very little and create safety. So how is safety created? If it's not created by having more and more and more money, because we see a lot of people who have a lot of money still struggling to to feel a sense of worth and security and purpose, right? So if it's not connected to that, and we see people who don't have any of that, who do access a level of gratitude and love and safety and security that they create for themselves, then where does this come from? Oh, right. It comes from within us, right? Where so many of us as business owners, we think like, well, once I hit that 10K month, then I'll really feel like an official business owner. And then you hit it, and then you're like, okay, I'll feel it when I hit 20K months, right? And then we hit 20K months, and then we're like, mm, shouldn't I feel secure? Say, I remember when I hit 200K in my business for the first time within the first year of my business. And I remember feeling guilty. I remember feeling so like inadequate, so unworthy, right? I remember even like crying because I was like, shouldn't I be enjoying this? And then realizing like, oh, I have a lot of wounds around receiving. I couldn't even receive it. I couldn't even post about it. I couldn't even tell people about it, right? It was like I felt so activated by my own wins because I didn't know how to fully receive it in my body, right? This is something we're working on inside Magic Mind, is like you know something intellectually, like you know something versus you know something. You know it in your heart, in your body. It has been integrated. One of the things that we do inside Magic Mind is we do integration calls, right? We're currently going through a Magic Mind exclusive course called Voice of Your Vision. And it is all about expressing yourself and channeling through the voice of your video, not copywriting rules, 3 steps to a great caption, right? Like robotic, okay, let's sound like everybody else in the industry, right? No, no. And I say that with love, so much love. But we need more embodied leaders where it's like, here's the fucking truth. I'm not writing this like a 5-year-old can understand what I'm saying. No, my clients are fucking intelligent and wise beings where they can feel my poetry seeping through their veins. They feel it in their hearts, right? I don't need to write like a kindergartner needs to understand. Like, we're throwing away all of those bullshit business rules from those business coaches, right? We are going into, I'm going to express myself and the semblance of my being, the essence of what I'm here to do from my soul. And that is what attracts my people, because there is a tonality, there is a vibration, there is a frequency that every single one of us has within our movement. And that is what draws people in. That is what allows us to connect with our people, right? Not because you checked off all the things on the checklist for the perfect caption, that if you do not write your captions and your story series like this, you will not be successful. No, this is beyond that, right? Again, this masterclass is about going beyond. So it is going beyond copywriting rules, messaging guidelines, marketing tactics, right? It is, what is the activated throat chakra of your movement? What does it want to say? What do they want to say? And then speaking from that place, all the things that we are scared to say, all the things that we are scared to admit, all of the words and the taboo language and all the things that we're told, don't say that. Oh my God, don't do that. No one would buy if you did it like that. Oh, you're a this and this. Shouldn't you be in a more professional outfit? Shouldn't you cover up your tattoos, right? Oh, do you have this and this? Like, there are so many things that we have been told, essentially water it down, suck it up, right? Restrict ourselves, fit into that little box, and then you'll be presentable, and then you'll be hired, and then you'll be worthy, and then you'll be liked, right? What we're essentially saying to ourselves when that is happening is, I can't possibly be successful as all of me. I can't possibly have the levels of delusional, crazy, obscene wealth just being little old me, right? But that's not true. Of course, that's not true. We've just been conditioned from all of these systems of supremacy and all of these different ways of living and being and shoving ourselves into a cubicle for hours and hours on end, right? Exploiting our life force energy versus like, we get to create something that is truly free, that is truly us, that is truly an embodiment, the essence of who we are and who we're meant to be in this lifetime. I mean, that is why we're here, right? That's why we're here. I tell my students a lot, like, my worst fear is getting to my deathbed and meeting the person I could have become, right? Because we really don't have anything to lose. We don't have anything to lose. We just feel like we're under the assumption, we believe the lie that we do have something to lose when we become our truest selves, when we speak from our truest voice, right? When we allow ourselves to be who we're meant to be at our core. But we still have this level of limitation that's like, is that okay? Right? We look around, we're like, we like, the biggest fear is we are the odd one out because of our conditioning from the days where we had to be a part of the tribe. Because when we weren't, it would mean no shelter, no food, right? No resources. And we get to create a new level of nervous system safety, which is another level of wealth. I actually see wealth primarily as safety, sufficiency, joy, fulfillment, not a number in the bank account, because also money needs to breathe. So it's not like I'm holding on so tightly to one number and it always being one number. I'm letting my money breathe. I love investing in things. I love pouring into causes that I get to support as well, which is fun for me, right? It is literally exciting for me, right? Not necessarily organizations, but family members and friends, right? My past couple like birthdays, if I go on trips, if one of my friends isn't able to stay an extra day or the plane ticket or whatever, I'm like, hey, let me support you. This is literally what, and they're like, no, I don't want, no, I'm like, this is literally why I run this business. I retired my mom from corporate, right? I think her English is 100% fine, right? But she's an immigrant from Canton, which is also known as Guangzhou. And, English is not her first language. And there were coworkers that would say things about her accent while she worked in these corporate settings, right? My dad also got the same thing. My dad got told, like, you're never going to make it in corporate with that accent, right? And a couple years ago, he made partner at his firm, right? And so I retired my mom from corporate because she was experiencing all these things that she didn't want to experience in the corporate setting. And now she gets to work for me. She's my accountant, right? She was working as an accountant for all of these amazing firms. And now, like, this is the power of wealth, not just money, wealth, security, safety, power, capital P power, right? The ability to show up and shift our reality and timeline. This is what I mean by our highest wealth timeline. It is not just the money that we make, because we can also make lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of money and not feel safe and not feel fulfilled and not feel joyful and not be living our purpose, right? It's possible to do it, which is why hustle culture and the grinding culture of just go, 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 don't listen to your intuition, don't listen to your body, just, create profit at all costs. It works. It works, but at what cost, right? It works, but what do you lose, right? Like, we're abandoning ourselves for the sake of profitable, for the sake of logical linear growth, right? that's not what we're here to do as spirit-led, heart-centered entrepreneurs that are here to listen to your body, listen and make intuitive decisions and choices, right? So this masterclass starting next Wednesday is all about activating deeper and deeper levels of wealth and power and sales as well, right? Sales in a way that is sovereign, that is connected to the work that you're here to do, the people that you're meant to serve, right? The people that you are meant to the people who are meant to be a part of your community. I feel like when we start our businesses, we already have predestined people that we're meant to serve, right? That are meant to learn from us. And we are meant to learn from them. This non-hierarchical coach client being equal, right? Way of building a relationship, which is so powerful, right? We are here to shift the legacy. We're here to shift the way that things have always been done. Right. And it starts with us. Like we are the ones that continue and start this very, very powerful way of running our business. Right. But it also takes us having to look at things in a different perspective, not be bogged down by the rules and the guidelines and the things that everybody else is doing. Right. But being able to tap into a level of wealth that isn't just money and sales, it's also spiritual wealth, it's emotional wealth. It is somatic wealth, right? Like the ability to process our emotions and sit with our body and listen to our body's messages and alchemize what we're feeling, turning things that used to be triggers and shadows into a level of purpose, into things that we get to teach, right? I just posted on my feed a carousel post on how if we have not processed our own self-ridicule, our own judgments towards ourselves, our own self-criticism, it can come off, it can leak, the energy can leak into our messaging and come off as judgment towards our clients, right? Where it's this like holier than thou energy and vibe that we can sometimes smell when other people are doing it. But it can also happen subconsciously within ourselves, right? Because everything is a mirror. Everything holds up a mirror to us, to our inner landscape, our inner world, right? So across these 4 calls, I'm talking about wealth, again, beyond money, beyond sales, beyond the money that you have in your bank account, right? A level of wealth, a level of attraction, right? And then purpose, that's call number 2, a level of understanding and deepening your purpose that activates everything for you, right? Seeing your business as beyond just what we get swept up into launches and sales, like this launch hamster wheel, versus like, are you showing up to your purpose in the most powerful way that you can, right? And then sales is the third call. So your understanding of sales in a sovereign, powerful way, right? This is feminine sales. That I don't mean that that's just directed towards women. We all have feminine energy, and the word feminine, as I'm using it in this context, mainly just means receiving, right? So receiving sales rather than this constant push, push, push. I have to go and get clients. I have to go and find clients. I have to go and hunt people down, versus here is how I get to be in my magnetic energy. And also the sacred union of both the masculine and the feminine, which is here's, I'm going to push this thing out. Here I'm going to pull, right? It's the push and pull. It's the dance, right? So even in a launch, it's like, okay, I'm expressing. This is me calling people in, and then this is me receiving and opening so that I can attract, so that I can magnetize, right? Because if we're just pushing, then how do we? It's like people want to come in, they're like, I don't know how to get in because your energy is so closed off, right? Versus like being only open. Then it's like, oh, hi, can I talk to you? What exactly are the details? What exactly is the transformation? Right? So we need both. We need this cycle, this dance within our sales. And that's call number 3. And then call number 4 as a part of the initiation, my free masterclass, is the message, the voice, right? The voice of your movement, the voice of your vision, expressing yourself in a way that is channeling through from the spirit of your business versus following the copywriting rules, right? That is not just, this is what I feel like I should be posting. This is what I feel like people need to hear from me. This is what people have asked me to talk about, right? Instead of being like, a piece of grass in the wind that's just flowing. Oh, people want me to do this. Okay, I'll do that. Okay, people ask me to do that. Okay, I'll do that over there, right? Instead of that, it's like, what is it that you feel like no one else is doing this? No one else is naming their masterclass like this. No one else is launching something like this. No one else is doing it in that way, but you are. But you are, because you see yourself as beyond the fucking coaching industry, right? Beyond offers and masterclasses and services and product suites, right? Like these are things that we desire because of the structure that it provides our business. But at the same time, you zoom out and you see yourself as beyond that, right? This is an expression of your soul's greatest purpose. That is what you're here to do. Okay, so that is calls number 1 to 4. You can register in my bio. So you can exit this live, click the link in my bio, click the initiation, put in your first name and your email. For those listening on the podcast, it'll be inside the show note description next to the initiation. So you just click through that and make sure you save your seat. This is going to end up being a packaged paid course. But if you're attending live, you get access to it for free. Okay. So while you still can, register, get your name in there. I cannot wait to see you. Call number 1, the wealth ritual. All right. All the details are in there and you'll get an email confirmation and a link to the Telegram group where I will be dropping the very first transmission today. So make sure upon registration, click the I'm in confirmation email that'll get sent to your inbox. Check your promotions and spam folder. There'll also be a link to the free Telegram private group. And I will be dropping transmissions there. People are already introducing themselves, following each other on Instagram, connecting with one another. This, if you're looking for a space of spirit-led, heart-centered entrepreneurs that are so serious about connecting with one another, supporting on one another, going live together. You might meet your next client in that group, right? Go in there and show up and just find out what happens. Fuck around and find out. Okay. I love you all so much. I will see you for the initiation. Thank you for being here. You're all so amazing. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Mwah. I love you all. I'll catch you later. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe. If this episode resonated with you, please take a screenshot, share it on your Instagram stories, and tag me at tiffanychung.co. I truly appreciate interacting with every one of you. Catch you all on the next one.